Alright, this is brought to you by
Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil. Kumentuntum Prekon.
Hello and good evening. Welcome. This is Ghana Tonight, and we're live from our news hub at Desawe Kanda, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. It's been a night of lots of disaster, and that is what we're going to be getting into tonight. And that's coming up on Ghana Tonight. We're live at a Denta news site in Accra, where a building has reportedly collapsed and rescue efforts are underway as we speak. We're live at this disaster site. That is not the only disaster site that we are going to be at tonight. There's another fire outbreak right now that has affected a number of buildings at Makola. We will be there as well. This is an active fire outbreak as we speak. So stay with us here on Ghana Tonight. Plus, 11 years after the June 3 flood and fire disaster, on a day like this, we're still having to talk about disaster. 11 years on, some 150 lives were lost on June 3. Many survivors still bear the scars. What lessons have been learned? Well, we talk about the Minister of Health has summoned the CEO of the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital to explain the reported closure of the Emergency and Accident Center to the public. Well, stay with us. The Ghana Medical Association is going to be joining us live tonight on this latest with the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital and the summoning of the CEO. The GMA says they are not happy about this. So stay with us. We're getting to it tonight. We have these and more, including the High Court setting July 3 as a judgment day in one of Chema Wontumi's cases. Remember, Chema Wontumi is facing about 3 cases, as we do know. So we will get into this particular matter and the development so far. As always, you're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Stay with us here on Ghana Tonight. Let's settle for Ghana Briefs.
The Accra High Court has set July 3 to deliver judgment in the case against MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Antwi Boesiako, also known as Wontumi, Kwame Antwi and his Akonta Mining Company Limited, after defense closed their case. Wontumi has been charged with assigning mining rights to Henry Okum without approval from the Lands Minister and facilitating illegal mining operations on his Samre Boy concession in the Western region. Lawyers of the plaintiffs, Imani Africa and Professor Kwesi Ening, have raised concerns about the decision of the Supreme Court to dismiss the suit challenging the president's powers to appoint and remove heads of uniformed security agencies. The Apex Court, in a unanimous decision, held that the relief sought by the plaintiffs were without merit.
Not surprised, but I wished for a different outcome. The security of the state requires stability. And in the previous cases that we cited, if you've read our case, the point that we've made is that it is not a good thing that with every change, you have a churning in our security services. The top is removed, people are shifted. That is not stable by definition. So that every time there's a change, all the top of our security services shift. It causes quite a bit of destabilization. That position is still, a good position.
The Minister of Health has summoned the management of Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital over reports that its emergency center is unable to admit new patients, a situation the ministry says may violate a directive from President John Dramani Mahama against turning away emergency cases. In a letter signed by Chief Director Desmond Boateng, the ministry directed the hospital's management to appear before the minister by noon on Thursday, June 4, 2026, to explain the situation and why disciplinary action should not be taken. 11 years after the tragic June 3 disaster claimed 150 lives in Accra, survivors, families of victims, and legal practitioners have renewed calls for justice and accountability. At a commemorative event marking the 11th anniversary, lawyers argued that many affected families have yet to receive the closure they deserve. Senor Hosi is one of the conveners of the One Ghana movement fighting for the cause of the victims.
Today we call on the state, we call on His Excellency the President to act in the spirit of his resetting Ghana agenda. We believe His Excellency the President stands for building prosperity and restoring hope. Hence, the survivors and families of June 3 must not be left behind.
Families of victims of yesterday's road crashes that left 15 people dead at Peki in the Volta region are trooping into the Peki Government Hospital to identify the victims. Several hours after the incident, the news team has been following up on the survivors and the grieving families.
I've gone around to see them and to also wish them speedy recovery. And families have also started coming in to identify the 15 bodies that we lost. And from here, tomorrow we'll visit the families in Bato and Mepe to commiserate with them as well.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has taken a swipe at foreign powers and development partners, accusing them of tying aid, trade and bilateral support to the adoption of legal and cultural values alien to Africa's social fabric. The Speaker was addressing the 4th African Interparliamentary Conference on Family Sovereignty and Values in Accra.
We have in recent times witnessed a troubling narrative. Development assistance, trade agreements, natural resource agreements, and bilateral cooperation have been made contingent upon the adoption of legal and cultural paradigms alien to our social cultural fabric. I want to emphasize that conditioning aid on the alteration of domestic laws to the disadvantage of beneficial countries violates the principle of sovereign equality enshrined in the United Nations Charter.
There's more news on 3news.com. Sometime I visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3FM 92.7. It's a night. Not much is happening to be happy about. A day like this, June 3, that brings back some memories 11 years ago. Today, we're talking about some disasters also happening. 2 instances, as a matter of fact. We're talking about a fire outbreak and then also the collapse of a story building. It's happened just about an hour ago. So we're at these 2 locations and we'll bring you live updates. Let's go straight to Makola right now, the Makola market in Accra, where a devastating fire has swept through several shops, leaving traders counting their losses. Now, for many of you, this is a familiar script, way too familiar script, when it comes to fire outbreaks, especially at this particular location and other locations in terms of markets in the capital, that's the Central Business District. But let's cross over to Martin Isiedudata right now. He is at the fire scene where this Makola market. This is what you're seeing right now. These are live videos of this fire outbreak. That's the level of devastation and destruction that we're talking about tonight. A number of shops that have been gutted by this fire, destroyed as we speak. The fire outbreak We understand the firefighters attended to the fire in time, but let's get some updates on this. And Martin is connecting with us right now from the fire scene with the fire service personnel who are there. Martin, tell us exactly, beyond what we're seeing on the television, quite devastating effect of the fire outbreak. What is happening on the ground where you are?
To be honest, I would want to start by at least commending the Ghana National Fire Service for managing to ensure that the fire does not spread to other facilities. So for those of our viewers who are watching right now, these images they are seeing are live from the ground. And it is a structure, we are told, it used to be the bungalow where some of the the police officers stayed. So many of them were in just when the fire started, and then they ran out when they started seeing smoke and the fire started spreading within this particular building. So after about 5 to 10 minutes, many of the people living inside ran out, although it was raining, of course. Life was important, so they ran out, leaving their belongings in there. What we are told at the moment is that because it's a residential area, there are gas cylinders and other material that were combustible. We've also seen them pack out, the mannequins that people use for their boutiques that you wear clothes on in different boutiques and shops. A lot of those mannequins were also being kept in there. And because it is a rubber-based material, it caught fire and burnt very easily. So it escalated the spread of the fire. And what we also know is the fire service have been able to ensure that the adjoining building on my left-hand side, I'm sure visibility is a bit poor at the moment because it's late, but this particular building, we are told, is also a different apartment that has some officers living there. But they've been able to, and you can see that the officers are still trying to push the water hose to get close enough to stop or wet the building so the fire doesn't heat the walls, and then that could also cause some, combustion and then spreading the fire further. So they are trying to push the water hose through a barber shop. It used to be a barber shop, which is totally now, burnt to ashes. They're trying to push the fire hose through there to wet the wall and quench the fire from that side of the wall, and then leave this other part that is already burnt. We are told that this one, there isn't much they can do about it. They just need to contain it and get it to die naturally, although they are still around it trying to contain the fire. And let me just give the exact location where this building is at. I'm going to pan slowly. It is directly opposite the Accra Regional Police Command. So this is the Regional Police Office in the Greater Accra region, right in the heart of Makola. So you can see that they've written police barracks up there, and it is opposite this facility that the fire is, started about 2 hours ago. We are told there is another fire at the moment at the Kanda Post Office. So we'll try and get that information for our viewers as well. But I can say on authority that the situation here is gradually being brought under control. The Ghana Police Service also brought in their hydrant to help fight the fire. And whereas they were fighting it from the left side, the Ghana Fire Service were right in front and at the side of it. So you can tell that a lot has gone on. And if you can see this particular image, you can see that they are pushing the fire through the barber shop, like I indicated, so that the water can quench the fire from touching that building. And it is a very chaotic scene here. But a few minutes ago, we also saw several police officers armed to come in to help the fire service. So all the security services are working together collaboratively to ensure that the situation is contained. No life was lost, although it's a residential area. We are told that they managed to get all the officers, all the people living in the building out before the fire got out of hand. But as we speak, the situation is fairly under control. I'd want to, in a few minutes, speak to Alex, whom we know, is with the PR unit of the Ghana Fire Service, to also give us a quick briefing on what exactly must have happened and what they found out when they got to the scene. Alex, thank you for your time. You are live on TV3's Ghana Tonight. So kudos to you, your men and the team. The situation seems to be under control at the moment, but what did you see when you got to the ground?
So when we came, the situation, the fire was well alight, as we say, and the fire risked spreading to other adjoining buildings. So our priority was to make sure that no one was left in there, and secondly, to make sure that the unaffected buildings are left unaffected. So we have to make sure that we prevent the fire from further spread. So as it stands right now, we've been able to contain the fire. This is
Well, so, duty calls. So Alex may have to go and help coordinate his men to help the fire from spreading. What we are seeing is that this very building in front of me, there is a wooden structure on top of it. Although they've pumped a lot of water there, that particular wooden structure has just caught fire. So it's likely to burn. So they are redirecting the water hose to try and quench this one. And it is largely to prevent this particular building from also catching fire. But Alfred, it's a it's going to be a long night for the fire service officers and then the police officers who would have been sleeping by now, because all of them are out, and I'm sure their biggest headache now will be where to pass the night. And I can actually walk around briefly, if you can give me a few minutes, walk around briefly so you can also get an idea of what exactly it was that they were contained in the building.
If you walk us through what's happening there right now. Yes.
You can see that if you come this way, these are some of the mannequins I was referring to. You see these mannequins on the floor, all up until the end of this building, the end of the walkway here. It is all these rubber-based plastics, or they are easily burned by fire when they come into contact with fire. And all of these, we are told, were in this building. So it gives you a fair idea that when the fire started spreading and it caught one, it was a natural spread. So this, Alfred, a lot is unfolding right this moment. So they have brought in a water tanker, and I can only assume that this water tanker is supposed to complement the efforts that the officers are putting in place to ensure that they contain the fire properly. And it is being directed or moved to the place we started from, which is the wooden structure on top of the building. They are trying to quench that first so that they will be able to now move into the main building. You can tell that even the walls of the building in question, the walls are cracked.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
Now, Martin, this water tanker we are seeing is to augment what is already there. And the understanding we're getting is that the fire service, the tender.
Your shot now, Alfred, so in your shot now are the uniformed police officers that came around for two reasons. One, to help the effort of the fire service, and then secondly, to prevent what could probably be people taking advantage of the situation to try and pilfer or steal things that may not belong to them. So a lot is happening at the moment. And again, if we focus our attention on that building I mentioned, you can tell that they are still pushing water in there, because priority is to leave what has been consumed to be consumed, but prevent the fire from catching other property around the area from burning. And this is the second water tanker that has been brought in. Earlier reports we got was that one of the fire tenders that came in did not have enough water, but that has been dispelled. It's a notion normally people who say that when the fire service came, they did not have water. But this is different from what we are being told. There's a fire service office very close to where this fire happened. So it was easy for them to come along with a tender to try and quench the fire. They are bringing some water, drinkable water that is, to the officers who've been fighting this fire for almost 2 to 3 hours now. And it is a very sad situation, Alfred. If I lift this and you look into the home, which a place that used to be the home of some of our compatriots, it's very likely they can't speak anything. One gentleman I spoke to told me that he had come out to take a bath. He was bathing when they shouted, "Eja, Eja, Eja." So he couldn't run back in to pick any item. It was just the shorts he was wearing at the time the fire started that he's still wearing now. And with today's rains, we can only pray for that gentleman and his family and his household, or those who may have lost property as a result of this fire. You know, it begs the question why this seemed to be an annual affair or a bit too repetitive, that a very busy area of the capital like this would have recurrent fire outbreaks. And the fire service themselves have always raised the concern about accessibility. Fortunately, when we spoke to Alex Kinate, he said that accessibility was not a challenge. However, when they got here, people felt they were also offering their help in salvaging things that they could and then saving lives. So it became a bit difficult for the fire service personnel to get through to start their work. Because in the name of we are helping the fire service, it became difficult. But eventually, both sides were able to find reason in allowing the professionals to do their work. But right from the police headquarters here, you can tell that it's going to be quite a while before the situation is totally brought under control, Alfred.
So, from what you're telling us, it appears the water in the fire tank, that's the fire hydrant or the tender, is at this moment running out. And that's why we've had to.
So what we know is that that one ran out. The first tender that was here ran out. The second tender came in, it's run out, and it came filled. So they've used the water that was in there to reduce the intensity of the fire. And so that is why now what we are seeing is a regular water tanker, which has also been brought in to complement the efforts of the fire service. So they are going to try and connect their hose to this water tanker so that it can help them in shooting the water into the building. So you can see again there, this is an officer trying to push and ensure that they direct the hose into the wooden structure. Now, if that wooden structure, the fire that started right from this side is quenched, it reduces the intensity and can help.
What is taking there is called a ceiling hook. Okay. So the ceiling hook is what we use to clear, because now we don't want to waste water. So the ceiling hook will be used to clear the way so that when we throw the water, it's able to hit the seat of fire. Exactly. Right. So the ceiling hook, so that I use it to make sure that we're able to clear and be able to fight the fire very well.
Right. So that's Alex Kinate giving us some professional, view of what exactly the officers are doing at the moment. So they brought in a device, and a lot of wooden structure is still, or wooden items is still in their way. So what they're doing is to try and get the obstructions out so that the fire can hit, the water can hit the base of the fire, or what they call the seat of the fire, so they can quench it right from the base. And so it's playing out like an action movie, Alfred, but you can tell that a lot of onlookers are also just observing to see how the professionals go about their daily activity and helping fight such fires, So you can see that this officer is using the ceiling hook to clear the items, to ensure that they can have access into the structure. And it used to be a barber shop. I doubt if the owner would be able to, find a place when he comes in tomorrow. That is, if he's not already around. But it clearly gives the indication that the officers are pushing beyond limits to salvage whatever is salvageable and get the place back to normal. And we'll definitely be updating our viewers as and when we get further information, Alfred.
Now, Martin, I see a mast close to this fire outbreak scene. Are you able to confirm that for us? You just showed us a mast closer to this fire scene, correct? Now, are they also prioritizing this mast that's just near this fire scene, as you're showing us now?
Yes, Alfred. You mentioned a mast, and that's it in our shot. I cannot tell at the moment what mast it is, but I probably would have to get more information on what exactly, what service that provides. But if you pay attention to the building inside, if you punch slowly, it is right in the middle of the structure that the officers are trying to save. So if this building is safe, then that mast is also safe. That is the general idea, that if they are able to quench this fire and save this part of the structure, then this is the main one that has been engulfed in the fire. Fortunately, the rains and the cold winds are also assisting in trying to quench the fire. But the effort is now concentrated on this building to try and kill the fire before, if the building or the walls of the building get too hot, it might, in and of itself, start another fire, which can be a major situation on the hands of the fire personnel. So yes, there is a must, but at the moment, it is not in harm's way, and we can confidently say that the officers are doing their best to contain the fire. I see some government officials coming in. At the moment, I can see the head of the DVLA who has just walked in, and some other government officials coming in to try and, ascertain for themselves what exactly the situation is. These are usually officers in and around the place, and they must have heard about the situation, so they are also coming to get first-hand information for themselves. The member of parliament, you are told, is the Honorable. Very good evening to you. You are live on TV3. Just want to have an idea what you have seen and where you came in. And the Honorable DVLA CEO is also here. But first of all, good evening to you. What is the situation you have seen when you came around?
I think it's very disheartening. I've always driven past this building, and I know it's residence for some officers of the police service. To see it bend down to this extent is very, want of a better word, disheartening. I don't want to reach this.
So what you just saw there, these are live videos from the Central Business District where there's a fire outbreak that's affected a number of shops. Now the fire service personnel on the ground are fighting to ensure that a particular building, they're able to ensure the fire does not spread to that building. We've seen a mast as well. That's not the only disaster we're dealing with tonight. We're going to cross over to another disaster site. There's a building, a story building that has collapsed, and there's some breaking news we'll be developing by the minute. This is somewhere in Adenta new site. We're crossing over to that area now.
And you said this is a place.
And Joseph Akablay is at this particular disaster scene. The story building has reportedly collapsed at Adenta new site here in the Greater Accra region, leaving multiple people feared dead and several others trapped beneath the debris. Now, Joseph Akablay is there on the ground for us, connecting with us live. Joseph, talk to us right now at this scene, where you are and what's happening there right now.
We are currently at Adenta new site, and the visuals we are giving you now are rescue efforts that are currently underway. So you have officials from the National Disaster Management Organization. We also have officials for the Ghana National Fire Service. There are also officials from the Ghana Police Service as well. And what they are doing now is the rescue efforts. We understand that so far a number of bodies have been retrieved. And so what they are trying to do is to try and get access to the debris to see if there are some more individuals who they can rescue from under the debris. A number of bodies have been conveyed so far, according to eyewitnesses who are here, some of whom we'll be interacting with quite shortly here. And so far it's been hours of rescue efforts. We understand the building itself came tumbling down sometime around 6 p.m. And once that happened, what it meant was that the rescue efforts had to start. The rescue efforts were mainly initiated by residents. Subsequently, you had the officials from the relevant security agencies coming in to assist with the efforts as well. And so that is what is playing out here so far. It's a story building. Some have told us it's a 2, others have said it's a 3-story building. We are able to confirm that at this stage, but it was inhabited. So it's a facility that has been put up as accommodation that individuals live in it. And so that is how come some of those individuals are here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to interact with some of the eyewitnesses who have been here since the incident happened, just to get a sense of what exactly happened and what is accounting for some of the efforts that are currently taking place, and give us a sense of what is happening. And so there are those who already initially, in terms of what we have gathered, they are pointing to the possibility of the rain playing a role in what's transpired. There's an eyewitness here that we can interact with too. Sami, I'm me no akasakakra. Na the important na esi wa ha enume.
The see portion there hanum say me no ya ha kromu panyifo ni bi. The organizer. Enti aba ne sa na me die mirika bai. Say me ye panyi wo kromu de me bai no na mienu no o mayi wo mo dada. Hwe yanka wo mo. Ansa na ba ko ne ye kosoro. Ye kosoro na ye yi no. No aye mmere. Ene ye ba fom. Ye ba fom no. Na ye hu so oba ba ko awu ahia ye horos na ase. Da ba ko so kikam se ye mmere ni nsuo no onwi. Ti ye forso na ye yi no. Ye yi no aye mmere ene ye de ne ko to ambulance no ko. Eti ye se oba ne de o hye ho. Sese no me se akora ba ko sa hye ho biom. Ti gi se o mu di machines no ayi dwuri ayi no ansa na ye behu se nipa sa ho biom. Ti sa na tie.
Na eti so far ni nipa se na mo yi.
Sese so far no ye yi nipa 2 ya yi mienu de ko aka oba no pe afini ni no
edan no na edan bensa
edan ne o masi story bit 3 abansoro na o masi ni single room ehihye basoro de 3 na ase so baako sa na o masi no enti dan no nsuo no esoku no na mane ye ba be ko hu ehworo nsuo no toy na esoku no
na dan o masi area ni party mo
ni party dan no ka ba kokora ahye ase enti ka ne hye ase sesi ya ring wo ho
So in terms of by way of translation, what he was indicating was to the effect that once they got knowledge of the incident that had happened, they came in and they tried to rescue some of the individuals here. He confirms that so far they have taken out 2 people, but he suspects that there is one other person who is in there. He also makes the point that it's a story building, and that aside from being a story building, there are individuals who live in it as well. So it's not a case that it's a building that is still under construction. It's not a case that it's a building that is under construction. It's a building that is done, and so it is one that people lived in. And he also confirmed that there's even a car that is also underneath the rubble as well. And so the rescue efforts are still ongoing. And as you can see in our shots here, the various officers who are leading this particular charge from the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Police Service, as well as the National Disaster Management Organization, all doing that. So what you can see above is currently some bit of chiseling and hammering that is taking place here. The aim is to open up and get access. The fire officers too are also close by. The chiseling and hammering is ongoing as they try to gain access to this particular building. And for those of you who may not be familiar with where exactly we are at Adenta new site. We understand there used to be, it's the Yeswasi area here. There used to be a church in and around here. And so it's an area that after the rains today, it's been left in a state of shock in terms of what transpired here. So still giving you some live visuals here from the Adenta housing new site here, where the rescue efforts are still ongoing here. Attempts are being made to get access to the debris, Alfred, and try and get some individual who is believed to still be trapped here.
Joseph, now clearly we're seeing what's happening there, and the police personnel and then other officials who are there trying their best to rescue this person you're saying has been trapped under this debris. Are you able to also let us into, first of all, exactly when this happened? That's when you spoke to these eyewitnesses. When did this happen? When did the fire service and the other officials arrive at this scene when this building came tumbling down? Are we able to get that information, and also the specific number of persons who have been, that's the dead bodies that have been unfortunately retrieved from this particular debris, and possibly the number of persons who live in this building that has collapsed as we speak?
He believes that the rain may have contributed to it. In terms of the numbers, those who habit here, that is what we are unable to tell for now. But we understand that it's a story building, so there were rooms above and below as well. But the belief is that they have been able to take out 2 individuals. And you heard him say that one did not appear to be dead at the time of retrieving that person. And he also indicated that that individual was actually asking for some water to be given when he was taken out of, when she was actually, a woman actually, when she was taken out. Now, the belief is that there is another person who is in there still. And so that is what they are working around the clock to try and gain access to and get. We understand that right after 6 p.m. when the incident happened, the residents commenced the rescue operations. And so that is what they were doing initially to try and gain access and bring out those that they could bring. But in a couple of minutes afterwards, then the officials from the relevant state agencies that are leading this particular charge then also came over. So the Ghana National Fire Service here also have the National Disaster Management Organization as well also coming in to assist as well. And so that has been the kind of coordination that has been taking place so far, in an attempt and an effort to get access to the debris, try and unpack, take it out and gain access to it. And so you see the fire official in your shot there. There's a particular portion, if you can see right in the visual, the right part of the building, from where we are standing now and from your shots as well, the right part of the building. The belief is that the person that is said to be left unaccounted for in terms of those who they believed to have been in this particular building, that person is at that side of the building. And so that is how come that is the focus area at this point in time. But I mean, obviously the difficulty is that it's a story building that has come down, and so it will mean that they would have to try and gain access to it. It's a bit of a tight situation as well, because if you look closely, you see that there are some structures beside it. There are some structures beside it on both sides, and so it makes access a bit difficult. So Alfred, I mean, the assemblyman for the area is just here as well. So let me just interact with him. Your name, sir?
My name is Honorable Alex Dabri Sapon.
I mean, just give us a sense of what you've been doing. We understand it's happened sometime after 6 p.m. What do you know about the situation so far, and what have you been able to do?
Okay, so just when the rain started, that was when the building came down. So the rescue team or members within the community decided to come out and come and help. So we're able to take 3 people out who are currently at Greater Grace Hospital. But we are trying, the NADMO director is trying to move them to the 37 Military Hospital. We have just taken out 1 adult, and then unfortunately, we have 1 person left who clearly I can say is a female, but looking at the condition, I don't think she has survived.
So it means that so far 4 taken out. There's one more that you still think is inside.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the 4, in terms of their condition, when you took them out, what was their condition?
The first 3 we took out had issues about fracture. Yeah, they had issues about fracture, so they have to treat them. So like I said, the regional NADMO director is trying to arrange and move them from Greater Grace to 37 Military Hospital. Yeah.
And that one person, we see that they were concentrating on a specific side of the building. Is that the case? I believe that person was at that side of the building?
Yes, that is the woman that I'm talking about. That looking at the way things are going, it's unfortunate. I think we lost her.
Yes. I guess it's a facility you're familiar with?
Yes.
I mean, it's a completed building, habitable?
No, it isn't a completed building. It's still under construction, but people are living in it.
So 2-story, 3-story, what's the...
It's 1 story. Yes. It's 1 story.
And in terms of the completed rooms that were habitable, how many are we looking at?
We should be looking about 2. About 2. Yeah.
But in terms of so far how the operations and the rescue, everything is being done, it does appear that we may still need some bit more of help, and in terms of equipment, perhaps to be able to do some more work and complete this rescue operation.
Yes, and I will have to say I think the rescue guys within the community have done a yeoman's job. I need to salute them and say kudos to them. We brought in the excavator, but I think the weight of the debris is too much, so we can't do it. But we've gotten our guys also who are chipping it small, so that we'll be able to pull the last person out. Yeah.
And as an assembly, I mean, how is this news coming to you? And for those who may be hearing this, they'll be wondering how a building is under construction and is being habited either ways. I mean, how does the assembly process all of that?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's quite a devastating and disturbing news. This is the first time. I became the assemblyman in 2023, officially sworn into office in 2024, but I would say this is the first time, and I will have to say that I don't want to say this is a blessing in disguise, but we are going to take advantage of what has happened today, and from next week storm the community with the municipal engineers. Any story building that is being constructed without permit, you will need to be sanctioned. Yes, you will need to be sanctioned, or you need to be brought to the assembly for punishment. Yes.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you to continue with the rescue operation still. So that is the assemblyman, Al-Hassan. Al-Hassan is the name, right?
No, Alex Sapon.
Alex Sapon. Assemblyman for, what's the area called?
Okataban electoral area.
Okay, so thank you very much. Alex Sapon there, the assemblyman for the Okataman electoral area. Alex Sapon, assemblyman for the Okataman electoral area, briefing us on what they've been able to pick so far. And Alfred, by way of updates, just to put it within context, you realize that early on when we showed you the pictures from the rescue operations that were taking place, you recall that there were some individuals who were doing the chiseling. They were doing the chiseling. There was manual chiseling that was taking place. What they are trying to do is that they are trying to create a bit of room just to ensure that they gain access properly. So they are trying to use the excavator at this point in time just to make sure that they're able to gain access directly to the place. And so that is what is taking place currently. And by way of updates and a recap and a confirmation of what we know so far, coming from the assemblyman who is responsible for the assembly area, to the effect that so far 4 individuals have been rescued. He did indicate that they were still alive when they've been retrieved and be taken over to hospital where they are currently receiving treatment. He also did point out that there's one more individual who is still trapped. Again, what he's told us and confirmed to us by way of official information is that the building was not fully completed, but it was being habited either ways. And you heard him talk about some of the measures that they will tend to undertake. You can see some of the individuals, the locals who are helping with the rescue operations so far, who are undertaking that. Those are their efforts. They are part of those individuals who came in initially and were undertaking the rescue operations, and so far they've been doing that so far to ensure and assist and make sure that they will be able to help and salvage the situation here, Alfred.
I see now, Joseph, there's a point that the assemblyman you spoke to made, which is quite worrying, I mean, and also quite striking. The fact that as an assemblyman, he knows that this is happening. He knows this building. He's saying that it's now that, they're going to crack the whip, that anybody who gives out their building without the needed certification and then also the fact that they've not been completed and then it's not habitable and they put it out for rent, they are now going to crack the whip on them. We certainly didn't have to wait for this to happen, for people to lose their lives before the assemblyman in question does his job, especially because you asked him the question whether he's familiar with this building. He says he knows the building is under construction, but yet it has been given out for rent for people to live there. That's quite troubling and concerning, to say the least, is it not?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's the reason why I put the same question to him, because once I spoke to the other individual, the eyewitness, one of the first responders here, I mean, he had suggested to me basically that it did appear that the building had been completed. And so once he said that the building had been completed, it raised questions of the quality of the building, the state of the building. And so that's how come we have to still try and get official information to understand that if the building is in good shape, what would have happened? Because he had also made reference to the fact that he thinks that the rain above is what had caused the building to get into a soft shape. But eventually he confirmed to us that it's actually not a completed building. And so it does raise the question that you are asking, that, I mean, why are we trying to do the crackdown at this point in time? But it's still early days yet, and still the rescue efforts that are still ongoing here, and that is what they will still be trying to do for now. That is the focus now. One of the first responders, I've actually been trying to engage him, but he's asked me to hold on a bit. He's one of those who got here very first and immediately gained access to the site, and has since then been using the very much manual tools. I mean, these are very chisel hammer basically, and using it and trying to gain access and help so far. And at least the light sort at the front or end of this tunnel, depending on how you want to look at it, is the fact that the 4 individuals who have been rescued so far, we understand there was some evidence showing life still in them when they were rescued. And so that is still a good news that has come in so far. The one individual is what the assemblyman expressed some doubts about whether his ability to do that. So what is happening now is that some of the officials from the relevant agencies that are leading this operation are speaking to the first responders at this point in time. What they are trying to do is to get an update from them to get a sense of what they've been able to do so far by way of the rescue operations as part of the official information gathering that they are doing here. So the main vehicle, the main excavator that is undertaking the operation, importantly, is what is being moved at this point in time. It's being moved to try and see whether it can be readjusted and to assist it to gain better access to the building as well. And so that is what is taking place now. They are trying to see how best they could gain access and see what they could do about the situation now. So I mean, at least with it move now, at least we get a clear sense of the state of affairs here. What we are going to do now at this point, Alfred, is to give you a bit of the, more or less, the pictures, the images, the videos that tell the story and give us a sense of the situation that is being undertaken. We are not too sure what is taking place at this point in time. There are some medical doctors who are here as well, leading the operation with their bags and the first aid kits and everything inside, just to ensure that they can provide immediate care to some of those individuals who are here as well. Let me see if I can engage the gentleman now. Chief, I'll go talk to you briefly. I can speak to you briefly. You say na obwa the omoya wa say so far. No time na obedu and then I'm with my so far.
I didn't dare see from 6 morning. 6 morning na start here. I started from 6 morning. You bedu ana there see one there. There see one there na nyagro. You fra obi eni ha. Obli eni ha. Minimi bra ipe na wa. You friend Odi Kofi. Minini mienu na wa. You friend fire service first or mwamba. You flare police, yanti omukan. You flare police no yanti omukan. Ena yan kasa ye be forces ena yi be ma ba ko. Ye yi be ma na ka ni part 2. Ye yi be ma no na ka ni. Ena ka ni part 2. sisi anipa tu no yɛ akola no aka maame no sisi a baby adunu je say omo boaye na ya yi maame no because baby adunu dey difficult ablɛ wa ase pa ablɛ
ye wunse na wo de mfidie na wo de bubom se be din ye pa because concrete dan a edwure gu fom de na be din se mo benya asese na tumi yi de mo be no
se de ade no ye no machine no je say machine no e betimi aboaye ba baby a machine no wo no baby a nipa na ehye no machine na timi ko ho because first no na akola no wa ase machine no ko ho a akola no onu so be de obewu nti je say ye provide say ye be yi akola na asan de aka no say machine no be boaye na wa boaye na ya yi de aka no
na san bre a mo sha asese mo ye we ni ana insuo no ejaya na ase na eguso to
ipa so da bi na insuo na ejaya na insuo no to na obie ni ha na me ti ase meti onu na ye ti sa ade no ye de ebuye ye ba na obie ni ha minimi bla odi kofi obie ni ha
na edan na nkasa no edan ye ti sen like won say to da go bitumi si dan out to be hu dan na obe hu say ase dan no mu wie say ase dan na mu nye du say edan na mu hu ni sen we a
edan de wa wie edan no wa ye bibia wi a hu obe say ye edan nkasa enye say
oma plaster paint
wa ye bibia hu obe say ye edan enye say o si na we na like why bibia we on say we dan cars ni cars bibia one side and am ebubu eguso anya easy see eguso aye ejuma
yeah that's the pipe say
yeah from Godwin
so that's Godwin here and Godwin's okay
me too my name is Emmanuel oh sorry senior but we from Emmanuel okay unfortunately me ne ma me na otifia I remember fan ko ejuma nti ye ho na ye frem say incident na si nti me dir me ka ba na me pack me car nti me ne boy we ene boy ba ko na ye nya access obi amba ye satam na ye heavy nti ye na we ne ba articulator na ba we ne ba na ye nya access kakra na ye wura mu nti na small boy ne de ye tenika ye frem na oje so enya life nti ye tresi ya na ye tumi ko yi small boy ne odo ye waya ade ye bomb pass say nyame ba man kwatende na wetumatena say ya hard working wa ma ye ni ade mekra wa try ya force wa ma ye trace na ye brain ye easy but ya wa ya ade omo ye three but ye yi ba ku first and say come am no ene so mobile no nte tire na ye nya access to mobile ya tra na ye tuma yi no nti ye da nyame ase so otinkwam but odo ma me ne de wa ye nyame dia but onu say ya ye bibia awie aka say ne nanu we ba ko esi so beam nesi so nti yentumi nyi ne direct nti se machine bu na ye yi ne fio nti
o cha de mo hu so far na say encoin ni musa na woka
yeah that one there the woman is there the woman is there I'm the one who, me and this guy and another guy who do everything the woman there she's gone but and she say woman there boy back on any boy small boy back on there omo your life but the woman there
yes so thank you very much yes yeah so I mean Alfred in terms of some additional information so there's still a fact that we still have to cross check because again you hear him also say that the building is completed. The assemblyman said that the building was not completed. The first eyewitness also said that the building had been completed. So that is an aspect of the entire conversation that we would have to clarify at some point in time. But you heard him explain so far, the first two eyewitnesses, just by way of translation. The first one did say that sometime after 6 p.m., while it was still raining, they got wind of the situation, so they came over to try and assist. And when they had made their calls to the relevant agencies, because of some of the delays that were taking place, they had to go over and take matters into their own hands and begin the rescue operation. And that is what they have been doing since then. In between doing that, the various officials came in here. Now, he explained to us again that they've been asked to calm down because they could not get access properly. He says that the one outstanding individual who is believed to be trapped there, a woman, whom the last other individual we also spoke to said that they don't think that there's life in her at this point. They had also made a point that it appears there is a beam that is resting on her at this point in time. And so what they did now was that they gave a bit of space. They came down to allow for the excavator to try and lift that beam in order to see whether it can give them access to be able to help her at least bring out the body at this point in time to see what is being done so far. And so for clarity in terms of what we've heard so far, we've not been able to hear direct information confirming any death so far. We've not been able to confirm any death so far. What we've been told is that from the assemblyman is that 4 individuals have been rescued and taken over to the hospital. We have also been told that there's one more individual who is suspected to be in here. I mean, it's still a fluid situation here. It's still a fast-moving situation here. Respondents are on site. National Disaster Management Organization, the military men are also here. You also have the Ghana Police Service. There are doctors also over here, all trying to help with the situation here. So just bear with us for now as the rescue efforts continue. As and when we know much in terms of what we can confirm and can report, we'll bring our viewers the very latest. But as we stand here now, the rescue effort is still underway, and that is what we are tracking at this point in time here. We are tracking the entire process to see if that one individual who is believed to be in there can be brought out as well. Then officially we'll hear from the relevant agencies as to whether this brings an end.
And what you're seeing there, quite heartbreaking scenes. And in fact, a number of you are sending messages asking about a lot more effort and helping hands from people who are standing there to be able to help the situation. In fact, we see quite a number of people who have had to throng this particular disaster scene or the site. And the Ghana National Fire Service, we have also the CID, so CID personnel there will cross over to the Makola area, the Central Business District, where there's the fire outbreak. We're also hearing of another incident, another fire outbreak at Kanda here. The Ghana National Fire Service averted what could have been a major inferno following a swift response to a fire outbreak at Kanda. That's another incident we're hearing right now. We're going to go for this quick break. When we're back, we'll tell you about this breaking news we're hearing of this fire outbreak at Kanda, not too far away from us. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. And this is Ghana Tonight, and what you're seeing right now, the Ghana National Fire Service averted what could have been a major fire outbreak following a swift response to a fire outbreak in Kanda. Residents attributed the incident to a fault in an underground electrical cable. The prompt action of the firefighters ensured the blaze was quickly contained, preventing it from spreading and causing significant damage. So what you're seeing right now is a fire tender that attended to this distress call from residents in that area. Now, this is not too far away from us. There's the Kanda Post Office area. Now, not too far away from the enclave of the Finance Ministry, the Ministry of Finance building within the Kanda area. And so this is some information that just came through. But thankfully, the Ghana National Fire Service responded to the distress call from a resident in that area swiftly and averted what could have possibly been another fire outbreak. But we're talking about a quick intervention from the fire service, which prevented the situation from happening. So that's what we're learning right now. Residents are pointing to an underground electrical cable fault in this particular area. So that's a place to watch as well. And we'll keep an eye on this one and be updating you a lot more on it here on Ghana Tonight. But if you're just joining us, this is the information from the Kanda area here in Accra, not too far away from us here at TV3. The information that we got earlier was that the Ghana National Fire Service averted what could have been a major fire outbreak following that swift response to the fire call. Residents attributed the incident to a fault in an underground electrical cable. This prompt action of firefighters ensured the blaze was quickly contained. So that's what's happening right now at Kanda. But let's cross over quickly to the Central Business District, where we started this show with the focus on that fire outbreak that has affected a number of shops in that area, and the fire service personnel who were there trying to contain the fire from spreading to an adjoining building, and then also a mast close to the fire scene. Martin Esiedu Date is a man on the ground, and clearly, Martin, we see the inferno has not been doused completely as yet. The firefighters are still fighting the fire, ensuring that it's contained at least within a particular perimeter, is it not? Walk us through what's been happening since we left you earlier.
Right, Alfred. So so you can see at the moment that the hose is on the shoulder of this fire officer. Has been directed to a building that is adjoined to the bigger one that was the main center of attention. This smaller one, now they've been able to move the major obstructions. And you can see that the officers are still trying to lift these containers that was blocking them from getting to the seat of the fire or the base of the fire. So what they're trying to do now is to move this big container out of the way and channel the pressure of the water to the base of the fire to be able to contain it. Some officers have also joined the team here to try and clear the debris and give way so that the water hose can go further to completely contain the fire. So what is left now is the concrete building. The concrete building is still an obstruction. So if you look in there, there is an entrance right there. However, they have to be able to walk through this debris, which still has remnants of fire, to be able to get into the main building at the back there so they can fight it from that side as well. But on a scale of 0 to 10, you can say that at least about 60% has been brought under control. What they're trying to do now is to make sure that they kill the fire completely so it does not, probably catch any other material that could help reignite it. So that's what they're doing at the moment. And the container, the water tanker I mentioned earlier is still here. What they've done is they've been able to move the water from this water tanker into the fire tender. they've transferred the water into the fire tender, and then they can use the pressure and the mechanism that the fire tender is made of to be able to forcefully push the water to the base. But the top of the building is another area we need to talk about. So you can tell that largely the base of the building or the ground floor is largely quenched. The fire there is largely quenched, but at the very top, there is still some fire there. And the officers believe that it is not as dangerous as what was on the ground. So now that the ones at the ground has gone down, you can tell that they are now directing the hose to the very top. The rail that was in between the pillars up there was made of wood. So all the railings have been burnt to ashes by the fire. And you can see there's a little piece left on the top left corner. That is still wooding, and the flint of flame in there. They are all trying to push the water to get all of that down, but the water pressure is now being directed upward. Now, if you pay particular attention to the building here, the structure of the wall, there are cracks in it. So that in itself is still a very dangerous thing. Now, if the pressure of the water pushes against it a little bit too much, it could collapse. So the officers have cordoned off and asked to their work. And so they have, what I can say on authority now is that we have gone around the building. So at the last time we spoke, we were stationed right in front of the burning structure. But when you left, we went round to see the back of this current building, and we saw that adjoining structures are actually at the moment off or were not affected by the fire in any way. So at least we can safely say that the fire is still within the confinement of the structure that was the center of the fire from the beginning. And a lot more officers are coming in. We can also say, like I indicated earlier, that from on a scale of 0 to 10, the fire has been brought down to about 60%. It's the remaining bits and pieces that they are trying to completely quench so that there is a certainty that we shouldn't have any problem. My sources here are telling me that the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyohuno, has also just arrived at the scene, and you can see him in your shot there, also trying to get first-hand information regarding what exactly the situation may be. So he would, I cannot tell for now if you speak to the media, but if you heard my earlier report, I indicated that there's a collaboration between the fire service and the Ghana Police Service in trying to work together to fight this fire. And it was beautiful to see how they were coordinating and helping each other. So the head of the police is here, certainly to get information for himself so he can, I'm sure, report to the ultimate commander-in-chief, which is the president. But we will come to him when he addresses the media, that is, if he would. But our concentration still lies largely on the fire behind us. The officers are trying to redirect or get a bit more of the hose length so they can get closer to the fire to ensure that they are able to kill it from the base. And again, this particular building is a major concern for the officers, because although the frontage of the building is largely off, the one behind, you can tell from the small windows up there that there is still fire inside. The place is engulfed in smoke. And like the proverb says, the axiom or whatever it is, yeah, they say there's no smoke without fire. So far as there's still enough smoke within the atmosphere, it tells you that there's fire somewhere. And so that's what the officers are trying to ensure that they deal with decisively before they leave. In your shot again, you can see the police service fire tender, then the fire service fire tender, and then the officers who are all trying to put their shoulders to the wheel. We have about 2 or 3 more fire tenders in the distance. So it meant that whereas the officers needed this water tanker to come in to give them water, they've been able to call for assistance to get other fire tenders in and within the capital to come to this scene of fire. And although they are here, they have been able to join their hoses, but the water in those tenders are not being used at the moment. But it is a good backup for them to be able to ensure that in case it is needed, they will deal with it. But I also said the IGP was here. He's moved into the regional police command, which is directly opposite where the fire is. He is likely to be receiving some briefing. And I'm sure maybe after the briefing, he may address the media. But we cannot tell for certain if he would or would not. But the crowd is moving away from the fire scene, or probably because they are following the IGP to see if he would speak. If he would speak, that would be good. So you see, that's a signage that talks about, that mentions that is the Accra Regional Police Clinic, Regional Landguard, Anti-Landguard Office. And the crowd gathered here, some of them are traders. Earlier, many of them were trying to get to some of the containers that were in front of the burning building because they said their wares were in that container or were in those structures. They wanted to go in there. But the police used force to try and get them back so that they wouldn't be able to, especially because we are unable to identify who owns what, so that they do not steal the items that are found in them. The police managed to bring out some of the items and moved it into the police head office because people started scrambling for them moments after they took it out. And for safety reasons, they moved it away into the police head office so that there wouldn't be any scuffle that would probably even end up injuring some of our people. So, Alfred, largely the situation here has improved. There is a bank that is adjoining the back of this particular building. We went there as well. The bank structure is safe. So it tells that the containment has been successful to some extent. The next major issue for the fire service will be to fully ensure that all fire sources are quenched before they will leave. But it doesn't look like they'll be leaving here anytime soon. Alfred.
Detailed information and report then, and thank you. We're going to stay. Let's put these two disasters or the scenes or sites on the screen, because I told you earlier today that when we started this program that as a result of the rains, we had an hour and 30 minutes of rain and more earlier this evening, even before the fire outbreak and then also this collapse of the building at Adenta. We're going to put those two sites on the screen right now because what we're hearing is that there's heavy rains as well as some parts of Tema as we speak. So we're keeping an eye on that particular development as well as the rains. Heavy rains have hit parts of Tema right now. We'll keep an eye on the developments there as well. But we're going to cross over to Adenta, where the new site where the building that collapsed, the one-story building that collapsed earlier this evening, that we understand unconfirmed reports indicate the deaths of some 2 persons. We're still knocking on the doors of the Ghana National Fire Service, the CID, and we saw some military personnel there as well to get some confirmation of the number of persons who have been confirmed dead and the number of persons who have been rescued as a result of the rescue efforts that kicked in earlier before we connected with them. Let's go back on the ground right now. Joseph Akable is there for us now. We see that the excavator that was helping with lifting the debris so that the fire service personnel can have access to one person we understand who is still trapped beneath the debris has moved. This excavator has moved and changed location so as to be able to have access to exactly the spot where this person, we understand, who has been trapped under this debris is, so that the fire service personnel can have access to the person who's been trapped. Now, we're getting some information as well that there's been some further reinforcement with some further equipment to be able to aid the rescue efforts ongoing at this disaster site, this collapse site, where this building, the Adenta News site, this one-story building collapsed with some persons were trapped underneath. 4 persons have been rescued so far, rushed to nearby the health facilities. And we understand that there is 2 people so far, some of the eyewitnesses say, may have lost their lives. We cannot independently confirm that, at least for now. We also understand there's 1 person who has been trapped beneath the debris, which now we're seeing efforts to try and rescue this person who has been trapped there. This is just to give you an idea of what's happening right now at the Adenta News site, where this building collapsed earlier today. What you're seeing on the other side of the screen is what is happening at the Central Business District, where the fire outbreak as well has affected a number of shops close to the regional police headquarters. The Greater Accra Regional Police Headquarters are situated within the Central Business District. And also giving us some information is that we have some more fire attendants which have also arrived at this particular location, the Central Business District, where the fire outbreak has affected a number of shops. The fire service doing the best they can to contain the fire from spreading into adjoining buildings. Let's cross over now to the Adenta News site, get some more information on the latest on the ground right now. Joseph Akable is there. Joseph, I see that now the personnel of the Ghana Fire Service and also the Ghana Armed Forces, we see the military personnel there as well, gaining some, at least, further access to the person who's believed to have been trapped under this debris, is it not?
Yes, Alfred, and so far as it stands now is all hands on deck situation. What they are trying to do is that last individual that you made reference to is that individual that they are still trying to bring out at this point in time, just to make sure that at least in terms of those they can confirm by way of information and believe that they were in the building, they can get that individual so that they can bring the rescue operation at this point in time to an end. Various officials have been coming in. The Deputy Director General of NADMO is also present. He came in a short while ago. He's been briefed by the various agencies that are undertaking this particular operation. We understand that they will be providing us with some official explanation once they are done. What our sources indicate to us is that they have made some good progress, because you recall we had indicated that the individual they were trying to rescue, because of the nature of the rubble that and the debris that were lying on that particular individual, it meant that they needed to use the excavator more than the hand implements that were being used. They at a point in time they were using the hammer and the chisel to try and gain access. So what they did was that with the support of the other military men that came in their numbers now, bit of reinforcement, more men coming in, they cleared up the place just to allow a bit of access. Then the excavator went a bit closer and tried to push away some of the boulders, the heavy stones that are said to be lying on that individual with a beam and every other thing. And so that is what has ensured that they've gained some bit of access. We understand that she has been seen. What is now outstanding is the efforts to get her out of it, and that is what they are doing at this point in time now. There are doctors on standby. There's a car also available readily to ensure that once they bring her out, whatever the condition is, they can quickly take her over to a health facility. With the hope that if there is life in her, God willing, there should be, they can get her the necessary treatment as we can speak. And so if you are just joining us, this is our continuous coverage on Ghana Tonight, coming to you live from the Adenta News site. What is transpired so far is that a storey building has collapsed. It's a storey building that was inhabited. There are tenants in it, and so far the numbers, some say 4, some say 3, but we are being told that those are individuals who were rescued. There were signs, visible signs of life in them once they were rescued, and so those individuals have been taken over to a health facility not too far from this particular location where they are receiving attention, as well. And what has been happening now is that the locals, the first respondents who were initially undertaking the rescue operation, you recall that we had indicated that they were asked to step back a bit to allow the excavator to gain access. what has happened now is that they've been called back. The locals, the citizens, ordinary citizens who were helping. They are the ones who did a bit of the rescuing initially. They have been called once again to get a bit closer and gain access. So you can see right in your shot there, right above over there, gaining access and trying to get access to the place. You can see him right over there in your shot there, that individual who is over there looking through the limited space that they have and trying to see whether they can gain access to the individual. They are using some lamps, some torchlights just to gain access and see what they can come up with in terms of locating this particular individual and bringing her out here. And there was a point in time during the coverage that there was a dog actually that lives in the house that was also identified and also taken out as well. And that was an interesting point because it was still alive and it was trapped way down in there. And so that is why some of the eyewitnesses here, some of those who have been here since morning, since evening, I must say, since 6 p.m. when this happened, are still confident that the last individual they are trying to rescue, they should not give up on her. They should do their best and ensure that they clear up as much space as they can and gain access to her, with the hope that she will still be alive. And so that is a sense of confidence that they are undertaking the operation with. What they are doing now is that they are lifting the stones that they can lift, the building blocks that have come down tumbling in about 2-3 hours ago. What they are doing is that they are moving them now. They are, because of the work that was done by the excavator, it managed to break some of them into smaller parts. And so once they've been broken down, the individuals are now using their hands. They are clearing up space. They are making a hole that enables them to gain access to the site a bit more, so that they can see who they will be able to, whether they'll be able to locate this individual that they have since located already. They've seen where that individual is, and what they are trying to do is to basically try and bring her out at this point in time. One of the eyewitnesses did say to us that it was a female that was still in there now. So what we are doing now is to get a bit closer to bring you some more visuals now. And then you can see in your shot exactly what I was narrating a short while ago, Alfred. The stones that have been broken down into pieces are being moved at this point in time. They are picking them up, clearing up space, trying to gain access and ensure that they bring out this particular individual. And the officials have indicated that the aim is to bring that individual out before they can decide to suspend the rescue operation at this point in time, because what they have been able to confirm is that is the only outstanding person in the building. And so they are making some good progress. If you compare to the situation when we came here more than an hour ago, where it was virtually difficult. The concrete beams were heavy, very difficult. They were basically not getting access. They had to try and use the hammer and chisel, but that situation has changed significantly. And the improvement now is that the excavator did go in there, cracked it up. They seem to have seen the exact point they believe that individual is located at this point. And so what they are doing now is to try and gain access. The shovels are working. While the clearing up is being done, the shovels are moving what can be moved on it just to give them some bit of access. And it's a coordinated rescue operation that is being supervised here by the relevant state agencies, National Disaster Management Organization. You have the military here, the Ghana Police Service here. In fact, there are investigators as well from the CID that have been here since the incident happened. They have actually already done a preliminary interview with some of the eyewitnesses, particularly the first responders. And there was a point in time that they had to call a number of them and had a sort of a mini conference of sorts, because they had to confirm the numbers. And it's what we've been trying to do ourselves since this coverage started, is the fact that some have said 4, some had said 5, initially some said 2 or 3. And so all those are numbers that we're working with, that we're trying to confirm officially. But what we receive from the assemblyman, which we are relying on so far, pending the information that we will receive from the officials once they conclude this rescue operation, this search and rescue operation that is taking place, is that 4 individuals have been taken over to a hospital, and that is the situation now. And the good news that we can report at this point in time was that there were signs of life in them. They were alive basically when they were taken out and they were taken over to a hospital where they are receiving treatment here. Alfred.
It is some good news. It is some good news indeed. And it is some good news indeed, quite refreshing to know that they're making some inroads to identify this person who has been trapped under the debris. And we see instructions being issued out to the personnel of the Ghana National Service who are there. Quite a number of them, Joseph. Now, are you able to give us an idea of exactly what their respective roles are? Because we see some of them just standing there, right? And also the military personnel who are there. What exactly is happening?
Those who are coming from the Ghana National Fire Service, you have the military men here, the NADMO officials also, the police officers, the military men. All they are basically doing now is to try and get access because there is one individual who is still trapped, and all they are trying to do is to clear up. They are clearing up. And what is being done now is that there's a bit of an equipment that has been called for. The equipment is being brought right now. They need it. It looks like a big plier that is being brought in now. So that is the National Fire Service official handing over the equipment. Is being passed. It looks like a big plier that could be used to cut a bit of the metals that are in between. And so it's been sent down there. It's been handed over. It's going down there. And so in terms of the rescue operation, the stage that they are now is to still try and clear up because of the nature of the, so that implement did not work. So it's been taken back again, and they are still trying to use the other items, the other equipment that they have with them up front to try and use them to gain access. And so by way of the nature of the operation that is taking place now, it is an attempt to remove the heavy boulders. It's an attempt to remove the beams, the concrete beams, the iron rods that are in between the building that have all added up to the materials that are on the individual who is still trapped. Is what is being cleared up. A bit of a hole has been created, which has given them a bit of a vision below. So what they are trying to do is working a pathway into it, and once they make that pathway and gain access, they'll be able to bring out that particular individual. And so that is what is being done here. The Deputy Director General of NADMO, he is up there. Honorable Teddy Safor, he's here as well. He's up there. He's just right up there as well. He's not going to waiting to get the necessary information and being briefed as well.
See, as you indicated that the equipment that was asked for earlier did not work. We see that there's another that has just been brought in as well to be able to help them cut through the iron rods, I presume, and so as to be able to have further access to this person who's been trapped beneath. Is it not? And this is a live coverage of the building that collapsed earlier this evening at a Denta news site, a one-story building that collapsed after the heavy rains. In fact, it was during the heavy rains earlier this evening, which started at about 5 p.m. at some places in the capital. Lasted for over 2 hours. That heavy downpour has brought upon us not just floods across many parts of the capital, but also a fire outbreak at Central Business District, and then this one-story building which collapsed at a Denta news site. One person currently trapped. 4 people have been rescued. There's signs of life. They detected some pulse and so have been rushed to nearby health facilities for immediate medical attention. What we're seeing now is a combined effort of the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, also the CID of the Ghana Police Service, all present to ensure that this person, we understand, who has been trapped under the debris is rescued. The iron cutter is what we understand. This is the equipment that was just passed on to the NADMO personnel together with the fire service and the military personnel who are there to be able to cut through the iron rods and have access to this person who has been trapped beneath the debris is the iron cutter. For them to be able to have access to this person, we understand earlier, as Joseph Akabley has been reporting, there had to be a confirmation of the people, the number of persons in this building before the collapse, because if 4 persons have been rescued and then the eyewitnesses also saying that they suspect 1 person is reportedly dead, which we cannot independently authenticate. We're waiting for that official information. And then there's 1 person as well who has been trapped under the debris. That brings the total to about 6 people. The rescuers had to confirm the exact number of persons in this building before this collapse. And that's why there was that call to all the persons who have been rescued to confirm exactly the number of persons in the building, because it is presumed that after this 1 individual who is trapped under the debris is rescued, that may make up the total number of persons who were in the building, and that could possibly lead to the rescue efforts being suspended. So they had to be sure exactly the number of persons in this building before this collapse, so they know exactly who they are looking for, what exactly they are doing, how this rescue operation will proceed after this individual who's been trapped under the debris is rescued. So we're keeping an eye on how things are playing out at this disaster site at the Adenta News site where this building has collapsed, the 1-story building. We earlier spoke to the assemblyman. It's confirmed that this is an uncompleted building which was housing some persons who were living there. The question is exactly how did this happen? Well, we are seeing that some of the iron rods are being cut now with the iron cutter, that equipment that was passed on to the personnel who are deep within the debris, this collapsed building, to have further access to this person who's been trapped beneath. We understand there's been some good inroads that's been made to the exact location where this person is under the debris of the collapsed building. So we're keeping an eye on this one. We'll be updating you here on Ghana Tonight. Joseph Akabley is there for us. We'll also be touching base and update you on what's happening in the Central Business District, that fire outbreak that has affected quite a number of shops adjacent the regional headquarters there in the Central Business District, and the fire service fighting the fire with multiple fire tenders. And then also we saw the water tanker that came to augment the water for the fire service to be able to fight the fire, contain the fire within the particular perimeter, not to spread to adjoining shops, because that area is populated with a number of shops as well in the Central Business District. So we'll keep an eye on, and we'll be updating you on the latest development at the Fire Business District right now to update you. But let's put those 2 scenes on the screen: the Adenta building collapse site and then also the Central Business District fire site. Well, this is a development. What you're seeing on the other side is the Central Business District fire scene. The fire has been effectively doused now, and Martin Esiedudate is still at the location. Martin, we see that the fire service has been able to douse the fire now. Talk through to us what we're seeing at the moment.
Alfred, clearly what we are seeing on the screen now is that 90%, estimatedly, you can say about 90% of the fire has been doused. The officers have been able to quench the fire that was at the very top of the building, and now they are trying to go into the inner corridors of the old structure. So this particular structure in question is actually very old, and you can tell that the heat from the fire has further weakened the structural integrity of the building. So it is even more dangerous for the officers themselves if they attempt to enter the building. But they've been able to quench it largely. About 90% of the fire is gone. It is this small adjoining building that is left, and you can see that within it there is still a slight blaze where, I mean, the yellow color you see there and the thick smoke tells you that there's something has gone on and the fire is still raging or is burning, but at a more reduced intensity. So that's what the officers are trying to completely quench at the moment. And I mean, from the time we came here until now, we can safely say that the efforts that the officers and with the collaboration of the Ghana Police Service, they've been able to completely fight the fire. So they are going to deal with the last bit of fire. And it is, you can see that the Ghana Water Company officers have also even joined. So the man right in front of us is wearing a Ghana Water Company vest and is helping the fire service, so they can be sure that every hand is on deck to douse the fire. So the rains are gradually coming back. I can tell you on authority that we are beginning to feel some rainfall. And in a moment, I'll speak to Alex Kinati to give us more like a wrap of what he has seen and what the next line of action would be. But from the early times we came here up until now, the fire has largely been dealt with. Estimatedly, you can say about a little over 90%. But what they'll do now is wait to make sure that all the probable combustible items that could still explode or catch fire is totally quenched, so they do not have to do any further work. It's likely they'll leave here in the wee hours of tomorrow or in the very early hours of tomorrow. But what they are doing now is to make sure that not a little flint of fire is left so that it could reignite and cause further damage. So Alex Kinati is still with us to help us understand, at least from the professional perspective, what else is there. Alex, we saw the fire, now it's largely doused. What would you say the effort has been like going forward?
So now, officially we've not relayed under control, but unofficially I can say the fire is under control. Under control means that the fire is out of danger. The danger of the fire spreading and causing further havoc is no more there. And as can be seen, I personally went back there, checked, and the extent of damage is just limited to this building and even did not affect the Ghana Water Company building here. So I would say that largely the fire is 90% extinguished. It's under control. But until the fire is totally extinguished, there are pockets of fires. We have what we call salvaging and overhauling. Salvaging and overhauling is when we use the hammer, the fireman's axe, to go through the rubbles and make sure that there's no fire hidden anywhere that can cause a reignition. So now that's what we are doing. You realize that our men have now advanced. At first, we were fighting for the fire from this side. Again, we didn't know what we were dealing with. It could have been, there was still, as you can see, there's still electricity here. So we are even still dealing with electric shocks in there. When we came earlier, we were dealing with a lot of gas explosions. Because this is a residential area. It looks like they had kept their gas cylinders inside. So it posed a great risk to us. That's why initially we couldn't proceed, because we needed to know what we were dealing with and then be able to adopt a better approach in order to adequately deal with the fire. So now, as you can see, the fire is well under control.
Right. So we know, like you indicated, it will take a bit of time. We're likely to run into the very early hours of tomorrow morning. But at what point would you say it is done and dusted and then your fire tenders can start leaving the scene?
Well, it will be done and dusted. Looking at the progress we've made, in about 2 hours' time, I think we should be able to finish. As professionals as we are, we won't just leave the scene. Even when we leave, we'll make sure that we get one fire tender on standby or close by. Our station is just a walking distance from here. Our station Amakola is just a walking distance. So definitely we'll keep that tender either here, we'll keep that tender we keep that tender either here or over there, so that in case there's any reignition, which I very much doubt, because if we have done our work well, we should not record any reignition. But then again, reignition sometimes reignition is out of your hands. Yeah. There might be a hidden fire somewhere, and it can take its time to smolder. So we are, look at the efforts our men are putting. Yeah. They are determined. We are determined no matter what. Until the fire is totally extinguished, we are not going anywhere.
Alex Kinati, thank you very much for a yeoman's job, you and your team. And Alfred, so like he has clearly indicated, a lot has gone on. The water hose that went into that building has just been brought out, and it's likely that they might give it one last shot to ensure that it is completely burned. The very top of the structure, there was fire there as well, but as we speak, that fire has been quenched. But there are officers still up there on top of the building. And like we talked about the structural integrity of the building, we cannot guarantee to say that the building is still strong enough to hold the weight of the officers and even the hose. So they are all being very careful and tactical in how they approach the fire. But it used to be burning, but as we speak, it is just smoke. And like the officer indicated, they are just trying to go around and ensure that every little bit of fire is totally dealt with so they can confidently leave the scene. But even that, there's still going to be a backup fire tender on standby in case they may have to come back to the scene, or in case there is any reignition, they can quickly fight it. And we are also seeing, I mentioned earlier that the IGP was here. He and his men have left, and I'm sure it was after he got the briefing of what has gone on. And again, largely, it could also be that they've given indications to him, the IGP and his men, that the situation is completely under control as we speak, for which reason he has left the scene. So we would also hang around for some time. When we do get any further and better information, we will definitely share it with you. Back to you in the studio, Alfred.
Martin, stay with me a little bit, shall we? And I want our viewers to pay attention to the two sites we put on the screen right now. The first you see on your right side, if you're watching, will be your left, is the Adenta disaster site where this one-story building collapsed earlier this evening. And what we're just showing you on the right side as well is the fire outbreak at the Central Business District. Now, Martin, we see that the rains have been pouring already on you, and that also did some work, as in at least lowering the temperature in and around this particular fire outbreak site, or this building, so to be able to aid the fire service as well do their work. And just walk us through the number of fire tenders that we're seeing there, and then also at least how the way forward will look like. And Alex Kinati talked about the breaking of some further debris, at least to be able to ensure that there's no fire hitting anywhere. We see the fire service now on your screen making some inroads into the building. Initially, they could not do that because they didn't know exactly what was in the building and what they were dealing with. Now, they've been able to douse the fire, at least on the outward. Now, they are having access to inside of the building so as to be able to deal with the fire, pockets of fire in this building as well. What we've been able to establish is that this is an old building, and so they have to be extremely careful in dealing with how to go about dousing the fire within the building. But largely, this fire in the Central Business District has been brought under control. That's the details that Martin Esiodudate has been giving to us right now. And we're moving every step of the way with the Ghana National Fire Service just to give you, our viewers, a clear indication of the progress that has been made so far, and then also how the fire service is doing their work effectively, as we've seen, to control the fire situation in the Central Business District that's next to or adjacent to the Ghana Police Service Regional Police Command in there. Now, the IGP Christian Tete Yohono was there earlier. He's been giving briefing exactly what happened. And we understand as well that we have personnel from the Ghana Water Company Limited. And that's instructive because a number of the fire hydrants, so you hear the fire service say, a number of the fire hydrants that they have to rely on in the Central Business District have either been destroyed or don't have water in them, or shops have been built on these hydrants, and so you cannot even locate where these hydrants are. And that's why you saw these water tankers, as it were, bringing in water to augment what the fire tenders already had in them. Now, let's cross over to the Adenta news site right now because we understand there's a development. We'll give you an update on what is happening so far regarding the progress to get to this person who has been trapped under the debris. Earlier we saw the iron cutter, that's the equipment that was brought to the rescuers to cut through the iron rods to be able to have at least further access to the person who has been trapped under this debris. Joseph Akable is there for us right now. Joseph, what's the latest to this?
It is that the operations are still ongoing. It's still a bit of progress here and there, but they are still a bit of long way away from concluding this particular exercise that is taking place. The reason is that it's a story building that came down, and so it meant that access was going to be a bit difficult for them, and so that is what they've been trying to do in the last couple of hours. In between when you came over and when you went back again, so far they are bringing in different piece of equipment, and it mainly has to do with the metal aspects, the iron rods that are in between the buildings. That is what has so far become a bit of a challenge, because what they are trying to do is to cut into them and try and gain access. With regards to the concrete aspect of it, those ones, they are cracking them up and they are taking them away using the shovels and everything. So they are being able to create space and gain access to it. And that is what they've been able to do so far in terms of gaining access. So that aspect of the operation has relatively been easier for them. The part that has been difficult is the metallic aspect, and that is how come once they are even able to lift the stones, once they are even able to lift them, they would have to still cut through the metals and gain a bit of access and try and remove more of the things, the stones, will be able to get access. And what they've been able to do so far is some significant progress. In fact, the visuals that we are showing you, you can see that some individual is already in there. It's in there that is gaining access to it so far. The Deputy Director General of NADMO is here. We'll speak to him. At some point. We understand that they've reached the level that they've been able to identify, locate her now. They've gotten. So what is being said is that a body bag is being called for. A body bag is being taken over. Once they pick her up and they are bringing her out, we are going to take it off the camera. At this point in time, we are going to take that particular visual off the camera. We're not going to show you that aspect of the camera, but she's been identified now. The body bag is being sent now, and that will be done. So what we'll do at this point in time is we'll take off the visual a bit at this point in time, because they are sensitive visuals that we would not want to bring to our viewers at this point in time. But the good news that we can bring to you is in terms of the aim of this aspect of the rescue operation that is taking place is that they've been able to locate her now. They've gained access. Some individuals have gone down, and what they are going to do is to bring out the body. And they called for the body bag. The body bag was sent. They've asked for gloves to be brought in as well. The gloves are also going to be brought to enable them do what they have to do now. And so they are in there. The body bag is being taken down in there. Very disturbing scenes here. Apologies for our sensitive viewers who are watching this, but it's an important coverage that we are bringing to you live from the Adenta news site. It's a rescue operation that has been taking place for more than 2 hours now. Some individuals have been rescued. They are still alive. They are receiving treatment. The officials tell us that once they are done here, they'll be going over to the hospital to check up on them. And so what is being done now is that the body bag has been taken down there. So there are some individuals who are down who have gained access. They are closer, so they've been able to create a pathway in between the debris that gave them access to this woman, we are told, who is down there. And so the body is being put currently in the body bag, and once it's put in the body bag, it will be brought out. There is a car that is supposed to convey her as well, that is being readied on the other side of where this operation is taking place. And so what would happen is that once they are bringing her out, we are going to move over to the other side just to take that aspect of the coverage of the camera for now, in terms of the body being placed in the body bag and being brought out at this point in time. But the update that we can bring to our viewers at this point in time is that the final individual that the rescue efforts, the rescue mission has all been about for more than an hour now, has been located. The pathway successfully created. It took efforts by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Armed Forces, the National Disaster Management Organization. They have to use various implements. They have to use metal cutters and all of that, hammers and chisels, all to try and gain access to that aspect of the building. It's the lower part of the building where the various stones, all of that were over here. And so that is what made it very difficult. In fact, at a point they had to abandon the hand implements, create space for the excavator that is parked close by to also be used, and for it to be used to gain access and used to destroy a bit more of the heavy stones that were rendering access very difficult. And once they eventually managed to locate her. In fact, the good thing about the locals who have been helping is that they had a sense of the nature of the building and the specific aspects of the building where they could locate that individual. So it was more of a targeted rescue operation where they were focusing on one aspect of the building and just trying to gain access to it. And so first they did locate her. Once they had located her, their aim was now to create a pathway. And once they successfully created the pathway, some of the individuals went down there. They went down there, and so they still continued to create a bit more of pathway. And once they were clear in their minds that they had created enough pathway, the next line was to call for the body bag to be brought, and that had been taken up as well. And so once that has been taken up, we understand the body is being placed in the body bag. There's a bit of a wooden structure that is being moved, more or less like a makeshift stretcher of short. Is being taken down. That is in your shot now, right about now. It's like a makeshift stretcher. There's a saw cutter that is being brought also, but we have been told it's no longer in need because they've been able to gain access. So that what looks like a stretcher is what is being taken down now. You can see it being lowered down. That individual you see in the green vest there, the NADMO vest, he's actually a local, a resident here. He lives in this area. He lives, he says, some 2 blocks away. He's been very, very instrumental in all of this particular exercise right from the start. He's been right there. We spoke to him earlier on. He narrated how they managed to undertake the rescue operation and rescue those individuals, and he confirmed to us that those individuals were still alive and they had been taken over to the hospital to receive treatment. And since that happened, so that is the stretcher that you see over there, that it was lifted once again over there. What is happening now, just a bit of clarity on it, is that they are still trying to widen a bit of the access point just to ensure that it's a bit easier once they are done placing the body into the body bag, so that they're able to bring the body out eventually. And so it has been hours of operation. And if you are just joining us, we are live from the Adenta news site, where we have been stationed since Ghana Tonight took off at 10 p.m. But it's actually a building collapse that took place at some time after 6 p.m. And the eyewitnesses that we have interacted with did tell us that when the rescue operation started, it was still raining all the way through. The rains stopping, the operation had been ongoing, and They so far be able to rescue some of the individuals. They have taken them over to the hospital where they are currently receiving attention. The officials have explained that once they are done bringing out this particular individual, they would subsequently go over and check on the individuals who are in the hospital just to make sure that they are the necessary. They are receiving treatment as well. And so a sufficient pathway has been created. The body bag, in terms of placing the body in that body bag, has also been completed, and very shortly they will bring out. There is a pickup that has been brought close by at the other side, ready to convey the body once that comes. And so there's a bit of a wooden platform now. The initial makeshift plank that they wanted to use has been set aside for now. A different wood has been taken down there. They've gone down there just to try and gain access and bring out the body. And so it's been a coordinated efforts of the various relevant state agencies that have so far done their best to ensure that they can close this search and rescue operation that has been on. And what has been extremely helpful is the fact that they had a clear sense of the numbers of those in the building and what they were supposed to do. And so that is how they decided to undertake this particular operation. And with that targeting exercise that was being done, it meant that they were still continuing all throughout. And so some of the key implements that were used to gain access are being moved from that site now. They are being moved from the site currently. Now it's being moved from the site currently as we speak to you now, and that is what is being happening so far now. And so what is taking place now is that they are ready to take it out. Yes, we are off. And so what we are going to do is that we are going to move the camera this way. Let's go back here. What we are going to do is we are going to move the camera from here because the body is being brought out at this point in time, and we are not going to show that on the television. So the lights have been shut off at this point in time. We are just moving a bit away. The pathway has been created. The body has been the body has been located. It's been put in the body bag. No, put off your lights for now. Put off your lights for now. Now, the car that will be conveying the body is also parked right here, and so the car is right here, just waiting to convey the body. And so, what we've done is that we've moved away from being close to the specific site where the body bag was being used to convey this individual. And so that is being done here. You can see a number of individuals who have come here so far to witness the situation here so far. The MP for the Adentan constituency, Mr. Ramadan, is here. He just arrived. He's here. It's his constituency. He's here. We'll be hearing from him a bit shortly in terms of what he makes of what has happened here. You can see him interacting with some of the individuals who are here so far. Honorable, how are you doing? It's a very sad night. Have to come out to your constituency at this point in time to monitor what's happening. What have you picked up so far?
Well, it's an unfortunate incident. This place, actually, in terms of jurisdiction, does not fall under the Adenta constituency. It falls under Medina constituency, but we are neighbors. So there are some people who live here who come across to come and vote on our side. Unfortunately, we heard that the building had collapsed. I came in. The briefing I've had shows that there are 5 people actually inside. 4 have been successfully evacuated. They've been sent to the 37 military hospital, but unfortunately, we've lost 1 life. So there's 1 person. They're trying to recover the body. So that's why we're here.
Yes, and in terms of what we know about what may have happened, the nature of the building, do we have some official information coming in?
Well, unofficially, what we are hearing is a 2-story. And on the ground floor, it was just a shop and some pillars. And then the first floor, I hear they were trying to do a second floor. I suspect that probably the pillars that held it was not strong enough. And then once it rained, it gave way.
this is not the first time such an incident is happening generally in the country. Even quite recently, there was another one in the Newtown area. This raises concerns about the extent to which we're enforcing building regulations and all of that. These are matters that, as a representative of the people, it should be of concern to you.
I mean, absolutely. I think that our assemblies should be up and doing so that we try and enforce building regulations. Really and truly, that's what needs to be done. You'll find that a lot of people put up houses even without permits. If the assemblies are up and doing, I'm sure we can prevent some of these things. It's unfortunate.
Do you have an update on the 4 individuals who have been taken over to the hospital?
Yeah, so I hear 3 are relatively okay. I hear there's one that's 70-30 chances of survival, but the 3 I hear they're fine, and then this other person. So we're just hoping that the 4th person can also pull through.
And the confirmation is that the last individual, we don't think that last individual made it?
No. I mean, so the last individual, what I hear is that the person has passed away. They've been able to, they've identified the body, they've seen the body, but they want to carry it out in full. But there's a beam that's lying on one of the legs. There's a reason why we're still here. But here, all the other body is exposed. I expect the beam, once we're able to lift that up, we should carry the body away.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. So that is the MP for the Adentan constituency, Mr. Ramadan, speaking to us over there. And Alfred, still continuing with the live coverage here that is taking place. What we'll do is that we'll keep the camera just at this side here. I'm just going to go over to the other side because, just keep the camera this way. Let's keep the camera here. Let's just keep the camera on the eyewitnesses here. I'm going to get a bit closer just so that we can give you a sense of what exactly is happening. Eventually, we'll do a final interview with the NADMO officials as well, and we'll just get a sense of they giving us a final briefing on what has happened there. So it's a lot of emotions here. You can see this young lady who is basically unconsolable. I mean, she's in tears. She's in tears at this point in time. And that final body that we're talking about has been placed in the car at this point in time and is being conveyed from the scene. And that is what has left many people in tears. I mean, that's what has left people in tears. People are crying at this point in time because one person, as we can report now, has been is believed to have died. He's been placed in the body bag and is being moved away in the car. So that is the police car, the pickup that is conveying that final body away from there. It's a moment of tears, a moment of pain. We can see some of the individuals who know the person there in tears at this point in time. Very sad scenes here, very sad scenes. The body that is being conveyed right away from here. Very sad, very, very sad situation here. It's a story, it's left people in uncontrollable tears at this point in time here. You can see the wailing that is taking place at this point in time. You can see there, Alfred, a very sad situation here. And what we can report now is that 5 individuals were trapped in the building. 4 of them were rescued alive. The 4 have been taken over to the hospital and receiving treatment. 1 person, unfortunately, is believed to have died at this point in time. And so that brings an end to the search and rescue operation that has been taking place since sometime after 6 p.m. That is the end of the search and rescue operation. And what is taking place now is that the main equipment, the main excavator that was undertaking this particular exercise is being moved from the site now. And what we are doing now is to just take you a bit closer just to make you see that excavator. So that's the excavator that was undertaking the main search and rescue operation so far. There are still some bit of clearing up that is taking place there. There's a bit of a briefing that the relevant state agencies are also doing just right behind it there. You can see it's all trying to do some work and some clearing up. But with regards to the search and rescue, it has been brought to an end. What they will be doing is that we understand that the operations will officially resume tomorrow. What they will be doing tomorrow is that they will be doing a bit of a clearing up because this is a property that is in between houses, and so they would have to clear up and create a bit of space just to make sure that the various debris, the stones and every other thing that is here is cleared up and moved from the site. And just to satisfy the search and rescue operations also that they have indeed concluded as they believe But the official information on the ground is that they have concluded, because the number of individuals they believed were still trapped here has been brought out. Unfortunately, the information that have confirmed to us with officials here is that she wasn't alive. Very unfortunate. That's what has led many people to be in a state of tears. And so what is taking place now is that that vehicle will be moved out shortly. We're expecting to be able to get some official discussion here, some bit of a briefing officially. The Deputy Director General of NADMO there exchanging pleasantries with the MP for the Adentan constituency at this point in time. We'll try and get a brief word from the Deputy Director General of NADMO as well. We heard from the MP not too long ago. We'll try and speak to the Deputy Director General of NADMO shortly as we bring our operations in terms of coverage here to an end at this point in time. At least a bit of good news here is that they've been able to complete the operation that they have been undertaking so far in terms of the search and rescue as well. And so we'll try and get a quick word from the Deputy Director General of NADMO, who is here. We'll try and get a quick word from him as well, and just let him explain to us the next steps that will be taking place in terms of the next operations. We can speak to at this point, Teddy. Yes, we'll just try and get that as well. Let me just drag Honorable Teddy. Let me just get a quick word from him, please. Just a quick word from you, please. You're live on TV3. Just briefly, just explain to us. We know that you've concluded it. So from the angle of NADMO, just summarize everything that's taking place.
Okay, so we're done picking up the last person that was trapped under the rubbles by. We can't declare the state of the person yet. We are moving right from here to 37 Hospital to first go check up on all those who were rescued to see their current state. Then from there tomorrow we'll come here, assess what was really the cause. Yes.
If you are calling it off at this point, is it that we conclusively can say that we don't believe there's no one trapped so far?
As it stands now, from all our search done, we believe definitely there is nobody trapped there. Because, per the low data we gathered when we got here, we were told it was just about 4 or 5 people. And looking at the numbers rescued, I think we've been able to rescue all of them. And so as it stands now, we have 4 rescued and 1 that we can't determine her state now. And it is supposedly maybe the mother. That's what we think, yes.
And in terms of the next steps, what will be taking place tomorrow with respect to this particular place? What will be happening?
So what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to come here with the engineers, and then we're going to pick up all the debris. After picking up the debris, then we'll start with our investigation as to what really caused it.
It must have been a difficult exercise, given that when it took off, it was raining as well. There's a fire incident in a different part of the capital as well. A lot of work being done by NADMO at this point in time.
As it stands now, we're going to 37 to go check up on the body. Then from there, we move straight also to Makola to also go and check what's happening there as well. Since last week, it's been a very busy week for NADMO. It started with the opening of the Wager Dam that caused a lot of spillage. We've been there. As I speak to you, we're even planning to have gone there tomorrow to go see what's the current state of the people there. And then this happened this evening. But I'm just thanking God that the NADMO team and everybody that was involved is ready. We are very ready and very proactive. You could see what has been done here. So we just thank God. Yes.
Thank you very much. We'll leave it for you to continue with the hospital operations that you're going to undertake. So, Alfred, this has been our extensive coverage that we've been bringing you right here at the Adentan news site. You heard from the National Disaster Management Organization Deputy Director General, Honorable Teddy Adi Safori, speaking to us a short while ago there. And so still a recap of the confirmed figures that we can report at this point in time is that there were 5 individuals believed to have been trapped as well. The 5 individuals who have been probed. We can also hear from the National Fire Service. Your name, sir?
I am the Regional Fire Commander. I am Assistant Chief Officer Rashid Nisau, the Greater Accra Regional Fire Commander.
So far, run us through the key aspects of the operations that your men have been undertaking so far.
Okay, so we had a distress call this evening at 18:06 hours. In fact, at exactly 18:07, the rapid intervention vehicle that you see over there moved. It got here and realized that it was a building that collapsed. So we had to call in firemen from Medina, Adenta, Legon, Abelempe, All of us are here. Myself, the regional commander, I am here. When we got here, 5 people were trapped, but we managed to rescue 4. And the last person was the person that we just brought out, a female who was left under the wreckage. But we managed with the extrication tools that we had in the rapid intervention vehicle. We've managed to rescue the person and retrieve the body, and the body has been handed over to the police to be sent to the morgue.
What were the conditions of the 4 individuals who were taken first here at site, and whether we have an update at the hospital for now?
For now, the update at the hospital I can't tell, but by the time they left here, some of them, from the ordinary person's eyes, they were doing well.
And how difficult was the operation here? Because your men are also fighting fire at the other side of town. We also realized that they were using hand implements at some point in time before the excavator was also being used to assist as well.
No, normally, this building collapse, we don't normally come in with excavators first. Because when you come in with the excavator, you are likely to suffer secondary collapse. So we just left the wreckage the way it was and started boring holes, and that is exactly what we did to manage to rescue those who are alive and finally got the person who has also passed out of the place.
So at this point, the rescue and search has been called off for now?
So we can say that operation has ended. And from here, since there's another fire outbreak in Accra, we are going to Accra to continue with the firefighting.
Commander, thank you very much for speaking to us.
My brother, great.
So that's the regional fire commander speaking to us over here as well. And so, Alfred, at this point in time, this is how we'll bring our operations in terms of coverage to an end here. 5 trapped, 4 rescued, signs of life, visible signs of life. They are being treated at the various hospitals now. 1 more individual was placed in a body bag and was taken away as well. And so that is it in terms of what we can report at this point in time. It's a report that we've been bringing to our viewers all the way from when Ghana Tonight took off at 10 p.m. to this point in time. It's past midnight, 12:15. We bring the coverage here to an end. Back to you, Alfred, in studio. I am Joseph Akable. Thank you so much for staying tuned into TV3 for this important coverage. We are back here tomorrow for the very latest. You heard the NADMO officials indicate that there will be the clearing up that will be done tomorrow here to clear the site in full and give them a sense of whether indeed, as a confirmatory exercise as well, they can confirm that the search and rescue is done. Back to you, Alfred, in the studio. I'm Joseph Akable.
Joseph, thank you very much. And this location, we understand, is Okatabaman. And that is at the Adenta news site, specifically where this building collapse incident took place. Joseph Akable, Stanley Nibleu, and the team there at this disaster site, thank you so much for the yeoman's job done there, bringing us up to speed every step of the way with what has been happening there to the last minute where the last person was rescued from this building that collapsed. Now, there's inconsistent information as to whether it's a one-story building or 2, but what we're going to do is to wait for that official communication from the NADMO and the other agencies that were there at this particular disaster site to give us some more information about the number of persons who have survived this building collapse and those whom we have unfortunately lost as a result of this building collapse. Now, let's cross over to Ashaiman. Ashaiman, we understand there is a flooding situation there. There's a bridge that connects Ashaiman, and we understand this bridge has unfortunately been taken over by flood waters. And let's cross over right now to Abdallah, who is on the ground for us in Ashaiman right now. Abdallah, tell us exactly what's happening beyond what we're seeing on the screen there right now, this flooding situation, and how dire is this flooding as we're seeing with this bridge in question?
Alfred, I can tell you that the situation here is a very difficult one for the residents who live along the old Ashaiman-Hachu route, because the rain started somewhere around 4:30 p.m. and then rained for almost 3 hours and almost cut off this bridge you see in your shot right now, Alfred.
this bridge actually links Hacho and parts of Agoba to Old Ashoman, which is just ahead of me right now. So if you can see in your shots, a lot of these vehicles have had to remain in the traffic for more than 3 hours. It is just a while ago that we saw officials of that node come in to try and control the traffic situation here. But I will move ahead to show you the level of distraction that has been caused by the rains and almost cutting off this bridge. You can see in your shots there. So this is the level of distraction you see on your screens now. I'm moving ahead to show you some makeshift tents and kiosks, which used to serve as store facilities for some of the residents here. Unfortunately, the waters have washed away a lot of these facilities. And this is what you see now. These are the remains of the almost 3 or 4 hour rains that occurred some few hours ago. And you see a lot of the residents who are still here discussing what has happened to their livelihoods, because most of them actually left work around 5 p.m., 4 p.m. And up till now, they've not been able to get to their various destinations. Alfred. So this is what you see here. There's a massive gridlock right from the Hacho police station coming down to Old Ashoman. And the situation here appears to have been compounded by this truck you see here. It's a concrete mixer. It's been broken down for almost 2 hours now. They can't seem to locate the owner of the vehicle, but it looks like he's finally been able to come to try and see whether he can start his vehicle. Boss, okay. So he tells me another vehicle you see in your shot over there, Alfred, is actually trying to come and see whether he can pull him off the mud that unfortunately he's gotten his vehicle stuck into as a result of the rains. So this is the level of distraction you see here, Alfred. We see a lot of the residents here who have decided to volunteer and assist the vehicles to move in and from Old Ashoman, so that the situation can be improved for residents to move around and find their way back home.
Mohamed Abdallah there, giving us live updates of what's happening at Ashoman right now, that bridge that links Ashoman to Hacho. And it's not looking good. That gridlock we're seeing there, the heavy vehicular traffic as a result of the flooding at that particular bridge. And it's one that we're going to keep an eye on throughout the night as well and be updating you on it. We understand there's been another situation as well at Ashaiman, Washington. Ashaiman, Washington, the rains as well has caused some flooding in that area, with leading to this vehicular traffic as well in that part of Ashaiman, Washington, where we keep an eye on that one as well. But there's more you can find on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. It's just 21 minutes after midnight. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much to you as well for staying with us here on Ghana Tonight, an extended version of it, because of the seriousness of the situation that we're dealing with at these 3 sites. I'm talking about Kanda, the Tudu, that's the Central Business District, and then also the Adenta new site, and then now Ashoman as well, and then the development we're hearing at Ashaiman as well. We'll keep an eye on all these places and then to give you some more updates tomorrow morning on New Day and also on 3FM 92.7 Sunrise. Thank you to our colleagues on the ground, Martin Esiedu Date and Stanley Nibleu, Joseph Akable, the rest of the team, the camera crew who were there with them that you did not see, doing some good job. Wisdom Safo as well.